Hi, this is Eva, aka Eva, the relationship maker, where in the podcast where I talk about usual relationships, I talk about successes, failures, and everything in between. And we decided with Neni Carolina Chacin to do a series of podcasts. And if you have listened to the introduction, you know the first one is going to be you on top or you on the bottom. And I let Neni to introduce herself, and after we're going to get into the subject.
Yeah, again, thank you, Eva. Welcome everybody again to this podcast, a 10 series of talking about business growth, business setup, business challenges, business everything. And we're here to give you an incredible podcast today talking about what are your brand values, the sub-headlines, assessing yourself and your skills to create your solid brand. Because are you on top? And were you thinking something dirty, like she says? No. Are you on top and the bottom? What do you like? But it really is, you always want to be on top. You want to be on top of everything. And how you're going to be on top is by setting up the proper things in your brand and knowing yourself and knowing all your skills and all your talents and all the things that you need to know to be on top. What are your best things that you're going to, what's your best foot forward, right? So that's it. And I am Neni here with Eva. Also, I'm a coach, I'm a singer, I'm an engineer, I'm also an investor, and I love teaching and I love speaking to you and I love getting to know you too. So we love your feedback and your questions when we do this podcast.
So for me, I don't know. I mean, we're going to have a chat with Neni. For me, the most important thing is to know yourself, because if you don't, how you can help other people? How can you know what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses? How you know that how you can improve or where you have to improve in order to succeed? And there are so many ideas like what are your talents, beliefs, values, boundaries, because I found most when I coach and I have clients that the problem is the boundaries and values. They cannot say no, and or they cannot keep up, like they set a fee and they are so scared that they are allowing themselves to lower that fee, that what is their worth. So if you know yourself and if you know how comfortable you are, if you are independent, me and Neni, we are both independent people, but we like to cooperate because we believe, as Neni said, that we are stronger together and we can give you more value if we are getting together and sharing with you our experiences and our knowledge. So the skills, what if you have to take any courses to improve on the skills, but you have to be very, very, how to say, not just straight, but very, very, okay, I forgot no, you have to be very honest about who you are and about your skills, because if you have a diploma but you have never experienced and you never
implemented or experienced,
then you just have a paper. But everything that you experience, that is going to give you the knowledge and the respect of other people. So I give you the word, Neni, and you tell me where you're coming from and what are your experiences and what are your beliefs, basically.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I think that I 100% agree. You have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes they say we believe our own BS. Sometimes that is actually true. We believe our own lies, basically. And we have to be clear and honest. You know, if we actually put together exactly where we're at, then we know how to fix the things where we're at and how do we grow. And we can reach out to the right people to get the help to grow. But if you don't know, and if you if you are at a certain state, you have a certain value, then you can reach out to, you know exactly how to reach out to people that have the same value, that are in alignment with those values and the skills. So, for example, if you have a skill, then you know that you're going to reach out to people that need that skill from you. But if you don't know that you have that skill, then how do you go and find somebody? So to define the people that you're going to sell to, that you're going to approach, you need to know your skills, you need to know your values, you need to know where you're at, where you're standing by defining. So there's several things, right? I just said three things. One is, where are you? Where are you right now? Where are you in your business? Where are you in your life? Where are you in everything around you? And then once you know your level, okay, I'm in level 1 and level 2 and level 3. Maybe you're in level 20 or level 100, but you need to know exactly what level you are. So then you can know who to reach. Maybe you're on level 100 and you want to grow beyond, so you need to reach a level 200, right? So that is very important, knowing where you are, knowing your values, to know what are the things where are the locations that you're going to reach out to. For example, let's say your values are of equality or values of integration and unity, then maybe you can reach out to groups that are seeking the same values, and you can get audience that way from there. Or maybe you have a skill, you have a technical skill that is needed in a certain field. So once you know that technical skill, or maybe it's not even a technical skill, it's a trait. Maybe you are very patient, for example. When you are very patient, maybe you have the patience to listen to somebody. You have the patience to teach somebody, the patience to guide somebody. So then you know what to do. So all these things are important in life, to know exactly where you are, what are your values, and what are your skills and traits. So that, and the strongest traits that are natural to you, and the strongest traits and skills that you have developed, because you can develop some traits. Maybe you don't have the patience when you were in high school, but now as a college student, maybe if you're in the 20s, maybe you have a lot of patience because you've endured some things that built your patience, and you can grow all these traits. So there's some personality tests that you can take online, and I would encourage you, anything that is out there that you can take a test to evaluate yourself, go ahead and do it. It tells you something new about yourself, and I do this constantly. The other day, I think I posted something on social media. A friend of mine from London, another fellow coach, he posted something really funny. He says he did a test, and the test said, to keep him sad, when he's sad, feed him chocolate. and I said, you know what, this is funny. I don't really take these quizzes online on social media, but I went ahead and tested, because I know they tell me something maybe that I don't know. And it was interesting because it said, to keep her happy, feed her chocolate. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, it was the same thing, but it was for a different reason. So, or when she's, it said something like that. But it was a different feeling. Like, the reason why I was getting chocolate was a different reason that he was getting chocolate. And that caught my attention. And that told me something about me. So when you learn something about yourself, you actually can be a better service to others. Would you agree, Eva?
Absolutely. And I'm going to stop at one point that you made, that you have to listen. As a coach, I think it's the number one rule, that you have to listen. Because if you don't listen, you cannot help the person, and you are not a good coach. Let's put it that way, because it's important. And finding who you are, there are so many personality tests, and they are fun in a way, but on the other way, it lets you know what are your strengths. And it's funny that most of the ideas for people when they create a business, it comes from a point of view of a need. And if you look around and you see what is your need, and you find some other people, what is their need, and how you overcame that need, then you have a business. You can start counting on that. You develop it, but that's how you start in a way. But you cannot without knowing yourself. And let's say you are not you have a problem with public speaking or doing a presentation like we are doing, and they saying the number one fear, it's not death, but public speaking, being in front of the people. So what you do, you go into, if you have something to share, you go and take that course of public speaking. You can like Toastmasters International. It's amazing. It's a nonprofit organization, not expensive. And the one thing though, it's very important to surround yourself with the people who are going to tell you the truth. Because if they are just giving you that, oh, you can do it, you are so good at this, you are so good at that, but you are not sure of yourself, you are not going to succeed. I'm going to give you an example, American Idol or whatever, these idols, and people come up and they start singing, and you want to run away and you say, oh, everybody says that I have a good voice, and you are delusional. In my mind, also the coaches are saying the same thing. But you don't end up in a place where you're going to feel bad about what you have done, or you're going to retract in yourself because you did not succeed. And people said, you can do it, but you cannot. So be very, very aware of your strengths.
Yeah, because when you actually know exactly where you are, that's what I was saying. And when you know where you are, then you know where you need to get to. But if you don't know where you are and you're delusional, like you said, and you're believing your own lies, or believing the lies that other people, the people pleaser around you, the yes sayers around you are telling you, then you are stuck, because you can't grow, because you think that you're reached the place that you need to be, and then you're doing something without being there. So it's really important to know yourself, really important to really evaluate yourself at this point in life, because sometimes we are different people a year ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 months ago. Maybe we've suffered something really traumatic, a news came that changed completely how you're going to approach life going forward and gave you a new point. So if you really assess yourself frequently, because it's not just a one-time thing. It's not like, okay, I'm going to do it now, and now I know who am I, and now this is it. No, you're going to continuously grow, and you're going to continuously actually gain traits, gain skills, gain different experiences that's going to make you become a new person. And you may not actually realize it until you stop. So this is a very good moment for stopping and listening, not just to others, but to yourself. So listen to yourself, listen to what your body's saying, listen to what your own thoughts tell you during the day. What do you tell yourself when you look in the mirror? What do you tell yourself when you wash in the shower? I'm not there, I haven't achieved this, or I don't have this, or when you go to bed. Listen to your own thoughts, be observant of your own thoughts, and try to be proactive in asking, for example, the people that you appreciate the most, people that you see are more successful than you. Well, that's very important, more successful in a particular area. Ask the people that have been there, that are in the place where you want to be. Ask them, what is their impression of you? What is their observation of you? What do they think that is your strongest skill? What do they think that is your biggest weakness? And you don't have to take it as is, but you can listen. This is all about listening and then taking notes and really evaluating deep down and say, okay, is this true? And can I improve myself? And can I be better? Because the way other people perceive you is the way clients are going to perceive you for your business. So, and you have to work on your overall persona, because even though you have a business, it's still people buy you, people don't buy the business. So it's very important that you grow and you know exactly where you are.
And the important part, you said that look for a person who you trust. It's sometimes you have the family is not going to be on your side. So surround yourself with people who already got somewhere. They are not just starters, they are not just having ideas, but they didn't do anything. And when you are going to look what people did, it doesn't mean, and they succeeded, doesn't mean that you have to be like them. Be better today than you were yesterday. And if you're striving to be better every day, better than you were a day before, and surround yourself with the people who actually tell you the truth, as much as you don't want to hear it sometimes, but you need to hear it. Those are the little signs that are going to help you to advance and get ahead. Do you agree with me?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about the people that you surround with. And it's okay, believe it or not, it's okay to distance yourself from those who don't really support you, even though they can be very close. And sometimes you need to fire those negative people in your life, right? So fire the negative people in your life. And some of the negative people in life may be your own family, maybe the people that you see the most. So just, it's really true what they say, that you are going to be the reflection of the 5 people that you talk the most, that you interact with the most. So try to choose well who is surrounding you and who is giving you that strength, who is giving you that push. And you always be pushing yourself. Well, this is a controversial thing also, that many people say, why do I have to be pushing myself? But just strive to be a better person every day, right? Try to be a person every time you wake up. Try to do something good for yourself and the rest of the world that you interact for that particular day, the people that you can reach out with your hands, right? I know that
I'm stopping you. You said try. What did Yoda say?
Yeah, no,
do
try.
or don't. No try.
No. Yeah, exactly. So no, don't try, just
do it.
Do it. Yeah, don't try, don't do it. Just don't try. And if you actually look at yourself every day, if you actually take these tests and evaluate, I'm constantly, weekly, I just look at things, evaluate myself. I do tests, I search for other psychological tests. There's one really good one that if you have a hold of it, my favorite one is really something called a Strength Finder. The Strength Finder self test for business, it actually gives you the top 10 strength that you would need as an entrepreneur. It's a business trait evaluator, and it's a really good book. Actually, I read the book. It was really nice when I launched my business in 2015, I'm sorry. And that book is really, really good. I really recommend the Strength Finder book, and it has already the assessment inside. You can actually take the test, and it's really good. And you can always work yourself up to the ones that are lowest or weaker traits that you need as to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you can work on them and then get them to be up. But while you're working on them, you can know that you can delegate those to the people that have those traits that are strength, that the traits that are strong in their personality, in their life. So, and some things, like I said before, some things are innate. You when you're born, you're like strong, you're patient, you're perseverant. But some things you learn. Some things, like I know I didn't have patience when I was young, and now I have a lot of patience. I remember my mom saying, I want to have the patience of Job. And this is something that she always said. She repeated this every single day. I don't know, for some reason we gave her a lot of trouble, I guess, growing up. But she always said, I want to have the patience of Job. And then I realized, when you ask to have the patience of Job, then life puts you with a lot of circumstances to build the patience. So what you get is more of the things that you're dreading to have patience. So but all this to say that the questions that you ask yourself to grow are very important. Are you asking yourself, how can I have more patience? Or are you asking like, oh, I just want more patience. Give me another challenge to build my patience. So that's very different, right? The different questions that you can ask yourself to grow. So that's a very important thing. How you approach each of the things that you identify in yourself as weak or strong is important. How you're going to approach them after. And one thing I wanted to touch base before we close out, because I know we're already going long and it's a lot of content that I know we're packing these podcasts with so much content. I don't want it to get so overwhelmed with each one, but I do want to talk about the planning. And I know, Eva, you wanted to talk about 6 to 12 month planning and why short, why long, and we want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Before I continue with that, we're going to have some downloads when you DM us, and it's going to be a personality test, how to take it, and some of the questions. So it's going to help you to get ahead. 6 to 12 months plan. Why is important 6 to 12 months? Many of you don't know, but I'm not well. So for me, I cannot plan for 1 year ahead because I don't know if I'm going to be here in a year. So I learned to plan 3 months, 6 months maximum, but monthly. Because every time if you are planning for 1 month, then you see how it goes. And middle of the 1 month, in 2 weeks, you can reassess whatever you have done, and you say, okay, I can change a little bit here, I can pivot there, and I can make it more successful. I saw this person or this coach, or I saw a movie or whatever, and you look into it and you say, I like that idea. How can I implement it? So it's nothing gets written in stone. You have to be very open, and you have to be very, you have to be there to pay attention to everything is going on. And when you are open, you're going to have the information that you need. So the important part is really, if you know yourself, if you have that interest in bettering yourself, if you have that interest of being the best you can be at that point, and never have never have that negative self-talk, because that's not going to help you. Instead of saying, oh, I was an idiot, that was an idiotic things to do, because it's the thing that you have done that is idiotic or not successful, not you, because you did it, not tried it, but you actually implemented it, but did not work. But everything is trial and error. So that's why if you plan for short term, it's easier to assess. But can you imagine you plan 5 years from now? Maybe you are not going to be here 5 years from now. Maybe the world is not going to be here for five years from now. I mean, we saw what happened. So it's always be open, pay attention, pivot, change, and you're going to see that your life is going to be easier and your business more successful.
Yeah, it's really about taking things in smaller bites. So when you actually plan long term, it's not only because we don't know, we don't have the certainty of the future. It's not just because of that, but also because it's easier to take smaller bites and to take a bigger bite. If you say, oh my God, I don't know how do I plan for the next 5 years? Do I marry this person or do I stay with this? There's so many big decisions that we don't need to really plan for so long right now. We can do a 90-day evaluation, a 90-day plan. And like Eva was saying, plan those 90 days or six months, short term, month by month. And then just trickle down. If don't want to trickle down to week by week, it's okay. But at least you have an overall idea of, in 3 months, a 90-day plan, where the first month you say, you know what, I'm going to fix, these are the things that are broken. I'm going to fix these things in the first month. Now the next month, I'm going to work on this, and this to grow my business or my life or my health or whatever you want to do. And then in the next 30 days, you said that the third month, the next 30 days, you say, well, okay, how can I expand and how can I double down? So if you do this approach, a 90-day approach or a 6-month approach, and then you break it down into months, first the problems, then the growth, then some marketing and branding strategies, and then how do you expand? You actually will, and then repeat this every 90 days. You're going to set up again and set up again. And if you move it forward, you put it to the next month, it's okay, but at least you have some sort of goal and you have a smaller bite size than, oh my God, what's going to happen for this whole year? Well, we don't know. Can we fly? Can we not fly? Can we do an event here? Can we do an event there? We can't. So we don't know. The rules are changing. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they won't change. We have no control over what happens outside our own body and our own house. We only have our own decision. We must not try, we must do things, but we can take smaller bites. And the same thing is when we do it in a week. Once we schedule, okay, this month is about fixing. What are the top 3 things that we want to fix? We want to fix my car, and I want to fix my health, and I want to fix my relationship. Okay, so what is the one thing that you can do? Just one thing that you cannot say no. And work on it, and you can schedule it. If you schedule it, it gets done. If you don't schedule it, it doesn't get done. It cannot be put on a to-do list. You have to schedule it. And if you schedule and it cannot happen because, again, you have uncertainty. Maybe your mother came, maybe a visitor came, maybe something else happened. It's okay, you postpone it, but at least you have a focus and you have an idea of what you're going to do in the next month. And small bites is much better. I do have a process of every 3 months, and then I have a yearly intention. Usually at the end of the year, I set an overall intention for the whole year, just what I hope for in my life, and I have a review of the next 3 years, where I would like to be, how I would like to grow, what I would like to experience, and how I would like to contribute. I ask those 3 questions, and I write down as many things as I can in 90 seconds. This is key, 90 seconds.
90 seconds.
In 90 seconds, as much as you can write, whatever comes out first, it's like the instinct, and that's what's written. But it's not just the plan. Then what are you going to do with the plan? You have to schedule, and you have to repeat that plan, that intention every day for you. So I have in my phone here, I have an app that's called Speaky, and that Speaky has a text with my yearly intention, with my 3-year intention, and with also my 3 months intention, the 3-month goal. So by listening to it every day, I just play it, and then I listen to it when I wake up, and when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm listening to my own goals. So that way I keep that in mind, because you have to keep focus, right? Especially us right brainers. You got to keep focus. So the way to keep focus is by reminding myself my goal, my destination, keeping people accountable. And this is some of the things about knowing yourself. I know I'm a right brainer, so I know that I tend to have many ideas and get out of focus. So I'd have systems and processes to keep myself out of focus, with accountability, like even having a podcast with Eva. Now we have 10 series of podcasts. This is the first one. So we're going to keep each other accountable to release this to you. So that keeps us focused. But if we know that we are accountable to each other, so that always helps. So if you know yourself, you can actually make use of these things for your own benefit and to grow your business, and have the right collaborators like Eva who can keep you accountable.
Thank you, Neni. And there is one important part of everything we have been talking about. It's you do have to have a plan. You have to keep your dream or what you would like to achieve, your goal, in front of you. But don't deviate, because if you start deviating, jumping from one thing to the other one, you're cutting yourself off from succeeding earlier. Because then you are not very sure, and you are not putting all your energy and everything into that one goal that you have. So that is important. As you said, you're listening to it. So that's a great idea. I'm also a right brainer. I'm also have many ideas, and I have to sit down and write down what I really want or how I see things. And when you said that sit down and write for 90 seconds, it means that you don't think. It doesn't have to come from your head. It has to come from inside. And then you can go and write. And you're going to be surprised how many ideas you come up with, or how many strengths of yourself comes up with, because you feel it. You don't think it. Because if you think, then you are basically boxing yourself in.
Yeah, and it's important to open up your boundaries. And many times when I ask my clients to do that exercise of this is called the 3 most important questions: what do you want to experience, how do you want to grow, and how do you want to contribute? They are limiting. They write very few things, and they're not expanding. And so I explain always, I think that you have all the time and all the money, the resources, not the money, but all the resources in the world, and you have all the strength and physical capabilities to do it. What would you want to experience? How would you want to grow? And how would you want to contribute within that unlimited abundance, unlimited resource, unlimited health, unlimited space, and unlimited time? If you had that, what would it be? Because even if you have a short time to live, maybe you write that thing and maybe somebody else can continue your idea, maybe, so it doesn't have to stop with you. So that's something that I do with my clients. I tell them, just think limitless, think in abundantly, and go for it.
Think big. Don't limit yourself to little things that, oh, you know what? I cannot spend that $2 on coffee today. And it's like nobody said to you that you have to spend the $2 today. But what if a month from now you can spend $10 on a coffee?
That's right.
So let your imagination take you away. And if you are a left brainer, I'm sorry for you, but then you have to have everything really, scheduled. Like, it's everything is very like numbers and everything. You cannot go wrong with that. But
well, the idea is not to think of those dreams based on the limits that you have right now. Think about it based on the unlimited limits that you will have in the future, or that you would desire to have in the future. And dreaming big is something, even it helps your mind to expand, and it creates new neurons because it creates new ideas, actually. So it's actually a biological thing that if you just expand away from what your current reality is and think that you are somewhere in the stars, somewhere in Mars, with everything possible, what would you do? What do you want to experience? How do you want to grow? And how do you want to contribute? Imagine you're in already a galactic future human race. I remember there was, this is a funny story. I was in Germany in the Dream Team for the week, and they said, okay, what could you write? Write down a headline that will be in the newspaper in the future about you. And my mind went to Mars, and I was the only the crazy person. Says, oh, that I had won an award for the best coach in Mars. For all the Martians.
There is a start. You never know.
So it's like Neni gets an award, many citizen of Mars wins an award of best coach from Mars to Earth, like something like that. So it was really funny, but it actually stimulates your creativity. And creativity is important for success. The more creative you are, the more ideas you have, the more for not only creating new products and services, handling new clients, getting sales, but also to handle challenges and fixing problems. So if you don't have your creativity developed, you can also find out that about yourself and then work on that. So it's important to know, where is your creativity at? So knowing yourself, going back to what we started this podcast, knowing yourself. Are you on top? Are you on the bottom? What do you prefer? And I want you to analyze and also reassess frequently and find out, where are you and where do you want to be?
I think with this, we're going to be closing this podcast. And we're going to post the information about your site, about my site, and also we're going to put the information and about the self-assessment and whatever. How to find skills.
Myers-Briggs and group of Venus, for also the stars, how astrology defines you, how are you defined by the stars?
Numerology is
Yeah,
really interesting.
yeah, that's the group of Venus, the numerology, your name, Strengths Finder, and business personality assessment. So we're gonna put all those links in the description and in the podcast so that you can go and have fun knowing about yourself and figuring out where you are, on top or on the bottom.
Yeah. And where are you going?
Yes.
And but the most important thing, to have fun with everything you're doing. Do it from a point of happiness and love, because then you cannot not make it. It's no way that you are not going to make it if you come from that point of view. And take yourself out after that when you're going to deal with clients, because that's going to be important, how they see you, how they trust you, and create that synergy and that friendship, that cooperation. So that's it for today, and we are looking forward to do our next podcast soon. So every week you're going to have something for 10 weeks, and we're going to be there to guide you, hold your hand, answer the questions that you have, and let's create a community of people who are willing to go to the extent they're willing to go to succeed.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eva, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next one.
Thank you so much, Neni. It was so much fun. Can't wait to do the rest of them, and I see you at 6 o'clock.
Right.
At Clubhouse, of course. Okay, bye.
Bye.